You know, I firmly believe that Stellan Skarsgård is known and recognized by each and everyone. I mean, you may not even know his name, but you surely saw him once or twice, maybe even in one of your favorite movies. And yes, Mr. Skarsgård has already left a huge heritage, being famous not only for starring in more than 100 movies throughout his career, but also for founding an epic acting dynasty, literally having turned Hollywood into a family business. At first I wanted to make a compilation of best movies with Stellan Skarsgård ever made, but then I decided to focus mostly on Swedish ones. For several reasons. Reason number one, that otherwise this video would be too long and really hard for me to do. The reason number two is that I feel like I need to apply my master's degree in Scandinavian culture somewhere, so here we go. And the first movie I'd like to speak about is called In Order of Disappearance, and the original title sounds like Crafted in Autumn. You can intuitively say that this movie is going to be just fine. This is a black comedy about a man whose son messes with a bad company and gets killed by bad guys. And so the main hero turns revenge mode on and starts consistently wiping those bad guys out one by one. But those bad guys think that these are their rivals doing this and start to kill them in answer. And you see, that's where the comic element actually hides. All the absurd shown in the movie is peacefully balanced by silent, snowy landscapes. The second movie is Glassblower's Children, and it's based on a Swedish fairy tale written by the great continuer of a legacy of Astrid Lindgren, Maria Gripen. This amazing family movie is about family values, of course, but the leitmotif is be careful what you wish for, because you will surely get it one day, but what if you get it in a creepy, weird and wrong way? Like the main heroes of the story, they were very poor, but they really wanted their children to wear fancy clothes. And of course their wish came true, but I strongly recommend you to see what happened further, to check out what went wrong. The next is Zero Kelvin. Zero Kelvin is the movie with balls because it's about men at work, it's about hunting in the north, and it is made in a very popular genre of chamber thriller. This is when several people are locked in some space, and so they have to stay there, they have to fight some circumstances, or each other, or maybe themselves. In Zero Kelvin, fighting goes in all directions. Three men with different characters and different background hunt seals in Greenland, live in the hunt, somehow communicate with each other, and, slowly go mad. And that is how the tension rises. I think this movie ends up being very creepy, but all in all it's about choices. And about love, maybe. Not for animals, though. The Simple-Minded Murderer is truly a masterpiece that revealed Stellan Skarsgård as a genius actor already back in the 80s. Because to portray such pure and mentally challenged person so naturally believable demands a huge emotional depth and great plastics. So this is a story about a young man named Sven who is very kind and hardworking, but he is treated horribly by most of the people around him, including even his own sister. But Sven bears this with dignity, without knowing it, obviously, and soon manages to find people who accept him as he is. But when these people start to get threatened, Sven refuses to be nice this time. He decides to fight back for the first time in his life. This movie is very touching and tremendously heartbreaking, yet it is probably one of my favorite ones. And now listen, this movie was made before Schindler's List. This movie is about a man who actually saved much more lives and whose fate is way beyond tragic. But how come people hardly know about this man and actually this movie? This movie shows us a person who is not in the process of opening his eyes on the fact that killing innocent people is actually a very bad thing, but who is already eager to help and who gives all of himself to save those poor ones. But sometimes he tragically fails in his efforts, and this produces even more dramatic and heartbreaking effect. Don't get me wrong, I really consider Schindler's List a masterpiece. And let's say the movie about Wallenberg is not of Oscar quality, but I want things to be fair. I really think that this story is worth knowing, that's all. The next movie is very tragic but painfully beautiful. It is truly a piece of art. It's like oil painting come to life, and it's called The Bull. It is a dramatic story full of visual contrast and emotional devastation that describes the life of poor people in hungry times of 19th century Sweden. The poor peasant, blinded by desperation but led by noble intentions and responsibility for his wife and a newborn baby, kills the bull of his master in order to have something to eat. Well, obviously it was a bad idea, as further happenings show. This movie was nominated for Oscar, by the way, and it distinguished not only for brilliant performance of the whole cast, but also for the great work of the director Sven Nykvist, a true visual artist and probably one of the best in the history of cinema. And warning, this movie starts with the killing of a bull, so if you are somehow sensitive about this, I really think that you should skip for several minutes. Did you know that in 1920s condoms were prohibited in Sweden? This is so unbelievable and annoying that there are several Swedish movies revealing this problem, more or less. This movie has it as a major topic, though the story is actually based around a little boy searching for his place in life during hard times of revolutionary moods within the country. But this boy is very kind and very naive, and it complicates the process of searching very much. The father of this boy is performed by Stellan Skarsgård. Mr. Skarsgård is obviously a pro in the topic of fatherhood, though here he portrays crippled and revolutionary inspired person who takes parenting in the wrong way, that's for sure. A somewhat gentleman is slow and contemplating drama with elements of black comedy and even a little of action. It's about a person who is finally released from prison and who tries to start a new life, who tries to pull things back together without getting into trouble, but troubles from his old life don't let him go. They chase him, which complicates everything. However, if you have the inner core and badass charisma, you will make it work somehow, in spite of all troubles. And the last 5 minutes of the movie are just priceless and iconic. I just couldn't help including this movie in my compilation. Long before working with Lars Von Trier, Stellan Skarsgård had already taken part in the exploration of Nymphomaniac phenomenon. In this movie he is actually 22 years old, oh my god, and he plays a hero psychologist, a really good and sympathetic guy who helps a girl named Anita with her addictive behavior. All in all, love and support can fix everything, at least that's what this movie is about. And also it's about nice, picturesque landscapes and city views, and social problems and nudity. Just the essence of Swedish movies in a nutshell. A detective thriller about a man who occasionally shoots down his partner in the midst of a white night and decides to accuse the murderer, whom he actually was trying to catch with his partner, of this crime as well. Probably thinking that if you've already killed one person, it's just one big never mind. And this is the beginning of all the other troubles that detective has to face. Insomnia caused by white nights doesn't make detective any happier. That's all. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button so I would know that you are interested in this topic, because I really know a lot about Scandinavian culture and arts, and I will gladly share it with you guys. So thank you again. Bye bye.